The NHRA is back in Ohio this weekend, and Austin Prock is back in the BCSN studios with us for Sports Nightly. Got to talk to you last year. You're having a good season since you've been here. I'm just curious, what did you drive to the studio today?
I drove my high country Chevrolet Tahoe. Just got it a couple weekends ago, and I put a couple road trips on it now. It rides great. Love driving it. It's
a nice car, but how? How do you do that? When you drive Top Fuel, is the rest of life just in slow motion?
Yeah, Top Fuel, it's so far in its own category. I mean, we're pulling 6 Gs when you stand on the gas. You can't get that anywhere else, and I always say it's an experience few get to do, but everybody should get to experience that.
Can you put it into perspective for us? If people haven't actually experienced this already, it is something that just assaults your senses in the best way possible. How fast is it? What does it feel like when you're actually behind the wheel?
We're going 0 to 335 miles an hour in about 3.6 seconds. So we're pulling 6 Gs through the middle of the racetrack and then -6 when you pull the 2 parachutes. I mean, it's absolutely insane. You can't find that anywhere else. And like you said, it ignites your senses. It'll shake a drink right off the grandstands. The fumes from the fuel make you cry. It's the loudest engine you've ever heard in your life, and when you get 2 of them side by side, it's quite the spectacle.
See, I can verify this. I brought a decibel meter out there for one of my stories last year, and it will just send it into the red. It won't actually read what you have if you're near the starting line and you try to figure out just how loud Top Fuel is. In your road car, you're talking what, maybe like 400, 500 horsepower, you've got what?
Close to 12,000 nowadays. So it's a 8-cylinder. Each cylinder carries over 1,000 horsepower. It's a blown engine with a supercharger on it, and it takes over 1,000 horsepower just to turn the supercharger. So yeah, it's quite the beast.
And you drive for John Force Racing, one of the legendary teams, one of the legendary guys in the sport, having a pretty good year. You just picked up a victory a couple weeks ago. You got a runner-up finish to your name in Pomona. When things are clicking for a race team, what is happening?
You know, everybody's just gelling. I always say that the race car kind of knows the energy of the race team, and the team's getting along. The crew chiefs are working so well together. We brought on Chris Cunningham this year to pair up with Joe Barlam. Joe's been with me for a handful of years now, so they're doing a great job, and the race car's just responding what they're telling it to do, and that makes a happy race car.
You're from Lansing, live in Indianapolis now, but when you come back here, is it kind of, in some ways, like a home away from home?
Yeah, absolutely. I remember coming here as a little kid. The Bader family puts on the Norwalk Night Under Fire race in the middle of the summer, and I always remember to come into that event. So I'll definitely have some family and friends come down from Michigan this weekend to cheer us on, and hopefully we can get them all in the winner's circle.
The Bader family, they do so much for the sport in this area, and every track has its own character. Every area around it does too. What is it about coming to Norwalk that makes it so special for you all?
It's just a beautiful facility. You know, he puts on the fireworks show at the end of the night each night, and you can get a pound of ice cream for $1 there. So the concessions are great, the family's great, the fans are always awesome this weekend, and we get 2 night runs this weekend. So the fans always love seeing the 12-foot header flames come out of these engines. We're going to run at 5 o'clock and 8 o'clock on Friday, and every ticket's a pit pass all weekend long. Come on down, you can get this close to all the drivers. They'll sign autographs for you, check out the race cars, and be a part of the team.
Look, I know you all have to enjoy the pound of ice cream. Take advantage of that like we do. What's the go-to flavor?
I usually do Rocky Road when I'm there. I can't ever finish it all. I'll have a few bites, and it's plenty rich for me. So, but I'll definitely be pounding some water this weekend with the heat, and hopefully turning on wind lights.
If it's your first time at the racetrack this weekend, you need to do what to just live it to the fullest?
You need to stand behind the pits when we warm them up. We warm the race cars up every time in the pits before we go run. Get right behind them, breathe in those fumes. You know, it's worse than horseradish. You know, it makes you sneeze, makes you cry, and some of the cars even do a throttle whack, and you'll watch just about everybody in the pits jump out of their shoes.
You say that like it's a bad thing. See, some people it may spook them, but I think for those of us, we grow to love it, and you want to go back again next year, right?
Yeah, I've never brought someone to the racetrack and them left unsatisfied. They always leave going, I'm coming back and I'm bringing my friends, and that's what drag racing is all about. So I hope to see some new faces out there this weekend, and hope to see a lot of familiar faces. NHRA drag racing fans are the greatest on earth.
Love having a familiar face in here with us for Sports Nightly. Austin Prock made it to the quarters at Norwalk last year. trying to bring home a win, this time third in points. So someone to look out for certainly this time. Wishing you a win and plenty of ice cream this weekend.
Thank you. Hope to see you next year.